Welcome back to another edition of Tea and Toys. In the past few days we've had quite a few leaks. Now let's take these all as a pinch of salt. So until Hasbro or Takara say anything, this is all to be treated as speculation, but more recent years these leaks have been about 90% accurate. So first up in the main Transformers Legacy line, that's the name we think it's called, Transformers Legacy. We've got the Core Class Skywarp. Obviously this is going to be based on the Starscream we've already had. GT Megatron, probably the Megatron again, even though the GT Megatron is quite a different model to tank mode G1 Megatron. Shockwave. Now with Shockwave, it'd be interesting if Shockwave would be held by a combiner, dun, 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 which is another part of these rumours. And then one of them is going to be Hot Rod. Might be a new mould, I suppose it doesn't really matter, but one of the characters leaked is Hot Rod. And now, not going to assume, because we've had quite a few Beast Wars characters drop, with a few reissues also happening with the standard Beast Wars toys. So two characters that were named in the core class were Iguanus, and we've obviously got up here, we've got the Pretender version and the Beast Wars version. We don't know, again we can assume it's probably going to be the G1 version. Old shits and giggles, I've left the old Beast Wars one there as well. And the other one, the last one, is Skullgrin. And there are a few repacks which I'm not going to state and list on this video. So it'll be interesting. So the core class, interesting, not ones I'm going to be picking up, but if Shockwave can be held by a combiner, that might be something that'll be very interesting. And let's move on to the Deluxe class. Now this is where we get the big old hints in regards to a certain combiner, which may or may not be happening. And we can see we got Skids. Skids looks like it's finally come. That'll be the last one of the standard Generation 1 1985 Autobot Cars lineup. He's actually the last one they're going to be releasing out of all that set. So they're all going to be in a nice scale together. So that set's going to look so good. And from the Skids mold, we could easily get characters like Reboost, Screech, and Crosscut. And somebody else who is also in the next set of leaks, which I'll go through as well. And then up for grabs is also Dragstrip. These top four are in Wave 1, so Skids, Dragstrip, Kickback. And I'm kind of ashamed that Kickback isn't going to be in the Studio Series. So fingers crossed we're going to get the other two as well. And what looks to be the Prime version of RC. And as we know, Kingdom was the sort of the tester for Generation 1 and Beast Wars characters appearing in one line together. And Legacy is going to be basically a celebration of all things Transformers. Mostly it's going to be Prime, the Unicron trilogy, and remainder of Generation 1. Wave 2 is going to be the Prime version of Knockout. And then we've got Elita 1. Now I think Elita 1 is going to be a reissue, maybe in a more pink colours. I can't see them doing another Deluxe so soon, another mould so soon. So I suspect she's going to be a general release that isn't like a Netflix special. And next up after that, Tarantulas, Wave 2. Probably in his first body, to go with the other Season 1 Predacons that we got in Kingdom. And also from Wave 2, it looks like that is Wild Rider. Then move to Wave 3, which does have a few repacks. We've got Point Blank, Crankcase, and Dead End. And on his own, in Wave 4, so probably with a lot of repacks, is Breakdown here. And from there, we've got the Voyager series, finally getting a Blaster at long last. So I'm surprised in the core-sized sets, we're not going to get like a 2-cassette pack. So out of the 4 main cassettes that Blaster gets, none of them are yet to be revealed. They might actually be released in the Studio Series, because that's where they first appeared. And all but Jazz, most of the characters in the Studio Series have been very movie orientated, so it'll be interesting to see what they do there. And Bulkhead, originally I put Bulkhead with the animated version, but with Prime RC being in there, and as you can see Prime Soundwave being in there, it's more than likely it's going to be a Prime version of Bulkhead. And as I said, we've got Soundwave, and then G-Axis. Now, what body G-Axis is going to take, we don't know. It would actually be nice if we get one that's based on his Generation 2 appearance. We've never had one like that. We've had one similar with the original Generations Armada Starscream, who, funny enough, is underneath there as well, which that second G-Axis figure was based on. Another one was a Viacon, I believe. And then Wave 3, Armada Starscream, a big fan favourite. I love this design of Starscream. I'm not going to get it this time round. I'm only after Generation 1 and Beast Wars characters from now on. And, speaking of Beast Wars characters, the last Season 1 Predacon, Inferno. Yes, cannot wait to get that Transformer back on the shelf. And now it's moving on to the leader class. And first up, we've got the Laser Rod Optimus Prime, which usually leads into somebody else who I'll be very interested in, but let's not talk about him just yet. You're kind of surprised Blitzwing isn't going to be in the Studio Series, so I was kind of having my fingers crossed that he was going to be Studio Series release, but we'll happily embrace a new Blitzwing. Luckily I sold the old one. And this one has been leaked a good few times. No images, just names on a page. Dragon Mode Megatron. I don't know why we're skipping the middle Transmetal bodies for now, but because that was the Transformer that did start my collecting again, was Transmetal 1 Megatron. But here we go. So Laser Rod Prime, Blitzwing and Megatron. Next up we've got the Commander class. Technically the first Decepticon Commander, not including the Allegiance swapping Jetfire, sorry, just not happening. And it's going to be Motormaster. Very interested to see what he'll turn out to be like. I'm kind of hoping they don't do the whole trailer separated from the cab like they did with Rodimus Prime. But if they do the all-in transformation, I'll be like, hey, you could have done that with Rodimus Prime. So it'll be interesting to see what they do here. Will the trailer be all the Menasor bits? I kind of would prefer it if you didn't have a lot of bits and kibble just splattered everywhere. I do want this to be an all-in-one transformation. I really do, and I cannot wait to see what this Combiner looks like. Will it be on scale with Devastator and Predaking? It'll definitely be bigger than the current Combiner Wars Transformers. With the Deluxes being about the same size as current Deluxes, it'll be interesting to see what they're going to do with Motormaster here. Are they going to do Onslaught? Are they going to do Abominus again? Will this be another trend of more Combiners, more money to be spending? But interesting nonetheless. So yeah, Motormaster. I really want to see what this looks like. And from there, I was wrong. I did a whole video about the cancellation and on hiatus Titans. But it looks like we're getting Metroplex, but it's going to be the Unicron Trilogy version of Metroplex. Not a figure I will be picking up, not one I'm at all interested in, because look at that alt mode. If there's ever a crap alt mode, that's a crap alt mode. But alas, now the big Scottish Transformer is there up for the grabs in 2022. And also in 2022, like with the last 2 years, we've had a sort of brother or sister line released in Smith's Toys over in the UK and Walmart across the pond. So it's the Velocitron series. Now again, quite a few interesting ones here. Not a lot I'm going to be picking up, but let's go through them anyway. So yeah, Burnout was the one I missed off from the Skids reissues, so that's interesting to see that they're going to be making that a Transformer, because I believe this version here is actually just based on the Diaclone, so it'd be interesting to see when they canonise a Transformer character from it. And then we've got Road Rocket. Again, there are two Road Rockets in Generation 1, Generation 2. The Generation 2 version, which is the one on the right hand side, is actually the more recognisable one. I believe Road Rocket from Generation 1 is a boring action master, I think maybe a European exclusive, so I'm going to go for a guess that it's going to be this version. And also we've got what is described as Velocitron Blur. Now this could literally be the Studio Series Blur done up in like Velocitron colours, which would be based more on the Cybertron release here. So not much difference from the original G1 look, but there's more reds in the vehicle mode. But what I'm kind of hoping for is this is an excuse for them to do the Armada version of Blur. Would have preferred it if they gave him a different name, but yeah, just again options, but could very likely just be a repaint of that Blur. And at long last, Clampdown. Yes, there are a good few Clampdowns in the Transformers series. My fingers are firmly crossed that this is going to be the missing side swap, recolor, remold, rejig that we haven't seen yet. We had to go through 2 deep covers, and now we're finally maybe getting a Clampdown. And the one that's probably going to be the Bumblebee version of the Netflix series is Cosmos. And looking at the distribution for the box cases, 1 Cosmos per case. Absolutely ridiculous. This is going to be one of the hardest and most annoying figures to get hold of, much like Bumblebee and the Soundwave from the Netflix line. And also a deluxe class figure, not going to be a part of the Smith's Toys Walmart exclusive, is Minerva from Transformers Master Force. It's going to be a Walgreens exclusive. Now we all know the Walgreens exclusives have been very irritating to get hold of in the last few years, with Red Alert now being more readily available, with Hasbro Pulse being a thing. So fingers crossed that continues to be a thing and fans can get Minerva. I'm not interested in her myself, but for those who do want her, fingers crossed you're going to get her. Then from the Voyager class series of figures, again we've got Override. Yes, there are 2 Overrides. You've got the Unicron Trilogy one here and the Generation 1. In all fairness, I put the Generation 1 on there because he came first, but the more recognisable one is the Unicron Trilogy version, so we'll probably get a figure of her. But I'm surprised she's Voyager size, so she's going to be a big old unit. So what they're going to do with her from there, I don't know, but interesting to see what's going to happen with her. And everybody's favourite Generation 1 character, Huller, or Road Huller as he's now known, is the last of the Inferno Grapple remolds, rejigs to be released, and it's nice to see that he's going to get recognised going forward, and we're getting a new figure of him. And by far the most exciting piece of news is a character which, in all fairness, in the leaks they've called him by his Japanese name. Now, is this Hasbro recognising the car robots, Robots in Disguise from 2001 series as a story that could still fit into the Generation 1 story? Because why not do it anyway? So it's interesting that they're not using the Scourge name. They're going to go for Black Convoy. So fingers crossed that the Optimus Prime version and the Ultra Magnus version and the Prowl and so on and so forth, those characters may actually be canonised in the Western world as separate independent characters from Optimus Prime. So we've got Black Convoy. I really want to get Fire Convoy and God Magnus as separate characters. Well, that's all I've got time for today. Let's have a quick run back through. Well, what do you think? Who do you want? Who are you going to pick up? Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.